Bournemouth, the seaside club that once needed a bucket collection to survive, were in the Premier League. It was an incredible time to be a Cherry. Their first top-flight fixture, a sunny Saturday, at their home of Dean Court against former European champions Aston Villa. Bournemouth played well, had the better chances, but then striker Rudy Gestede rose like a ruddy salmon and ruined the party. 1-0 to the Villains, very much so in this case for the Bournemouth faithful. Still, the result didn't matter. This was the start of something special. So, nearly a decade on, what happened to the very first Cherries 11? Let's find out. Artur Boruc, goalkeeper. The holy goalie himself, Artur Boruc. He brought experience, chaos, and the occasional worldy save. And if you asked Bournemouth fans to describe him in 3 words, they'd probably say, mad, but brilliant. Boruc played a key role in keeping the club up early on, and after a few more years with the Cherries, he headed back home to Legia Warsaw, where he retired in 2022. The holy goalie retired from professional football in June of that year at the age of 42, marking the occasion with a testimonial match between Legia Warsaw and Celtic. Since retiring, he's stayed active through charity and Legends games, kept a presence on social media, and seems to be enjoying life after football, possibly even eyeing a move to California, as he once hinted at in an interview. But that's all I can really offer you on Artur at the moment. Steve Cook, centre-back. Mr. Reliable. Steve Cook went from League One cloggers to the Premier League and made it look routine. He was proper old school, big headers, no nonsense, and would probably 2-foot his own nan to stop a goal. After nearly 400 games with Bournemouth, he moved to Nottingham Forest, helped them to go up, and then moved to Queen's Park Rangers for just over £1 million. Cook is still playing at Loftus Road after an extension clause in his contract was recently activated, keeping him at the club for another season. Tommy Elphick, centre-back. Captain, leader, massive shin pads. Tommy Elphick lifted the Championship trophy in 2015 and led the team into the Premier League. Didn't play much beyond that debut season, but no one cared. He was a legend already. After a few seasons at Aston Villa and a couple of loan spells, he eventually called time on his career at Huddersfield Town following a knee injury. After his playing career, Elphick joined AFC Bournemouth's development squad as a coach in 2021 and was later promoted to permanent assistant coach in December of 2022. Charlie Daniels, left-back. The most underappreciated left-back probably in Premier League history, at least for a while. Charlie Daniels had a wand of a left foot, loved a late arrival in the box and scored a few screamers too. Remember that rocket against Manchester City? Sadly though, injuries caught up with him. He ended up at Shrewsbury and then drifted out of the game in 2021. However, Charlie Daniels came out of retirement to play for non-league Westfield FC, while also coaching Watford's under-21s. Simon Francis, right back. Club captain, fan favourite, beard aficionado. Simon Francis was one of those players you never really noticed until he wasn't there, and then the defence fell apart. He stuck around through thick and thin, adapted to centre-back, and finally retired in 2020. After retiring, he joined the club's management team, started in recruitment before being promoted to technical director following Richard Hughes' departure. Dan Gosling, midfield. If you played FIFA Career Mode in 2011, you definitely signed Dan Gosling. He scored the odd screamer, never stopped running, and had that Premier League engine badge that basically meant we'll chase shadows for 90 minutes. After Bournemouth, he went to Watford, then Forest Green, then Blackpool. Gosling recently retired from professional football to pursue coaching and is now assistant manager for Watford's under-21s. He too also played for Westfield FC, the same non-league team owned by Steve Cook. Always reliable, never flashy, the footballing equivalent of a sturdy Volvo. Andrew Surman, midfield. Silky, calm, never gave the ball away. Surman was the metronome in that Bournemouth midfield. If he wore shin pads, you'd never know, because he didn't tackle, just passed and passed and passed again. After Bournemouth, he went to MK Dons, played a season and retired without fuss. Surman is currently the under-18s head coach for Southampton, having been promoted after serving as assistant coach and interim head coach. He also serves as an ambassador for the Saints Foundation, offering his footballing insight and wisdom, delivering his own Sermon on the Mount. Marc Pugh, left wing. Pugh went from non-league to Premier League and scored the Cherries' promotion-sealing goal in 2015. He didn't play loads in the Prem, but fans adored him. After short spells at QPR and Shrewsbury, he quit football and genuinely became a chef. Now he's running cooking classes and has his own food Instagram. Oh, and he's one of a handful of players to have scored in every one of the top 5 divisions. It's Marc Pugh, former AFC Bournemouth ace turned online health coach. Matt Ritchie, right wing. Tenacity, energy, and the volume of a foghorn. Matt Ritchie was Bournemouth's firecracker. Never stopped shouting, never stopped running. He left for Newcastle in 2016 and helped them bounce back to the Premier League. Ritchie then moved from the northeast to the south coast, but is in talks to leave Pompey after just a year, having been told he won't be guaranteed playing time in the Championship this season. He's currently exploring interest from other clubs whilst also considering a move into coaching and apparently wants to pursue a UEFA A licence. Callum Wilson, striker. Bournemouth's golden boy. He scored a hat-trick 3 games into his Premier League career. Injuries tried to derail him more times than we can count, but he kept bouncing back. He moved to Newcastle United in 2020, spent 5 seasons there and has played for England, scored in Europe and somehow always ends the season with double digits. Now 33, he's signed a 1-year deal with West Ham United as a free agent. A brilliant Premier League striker, even if his hamstrings have had other ideas. Josh King, striker. King by name, and at times by nature. He was electric in that 2016-17 season, 16 goals in the league, and suddenly everybody wanted to sign him. Moved to Everton in 2021, didn't do much, then went to Turkey with Fenerbahce, and then Toulouse in France's Ligue 1. As of the 2025-26 season, King is playing for Saudi side Al Khalij FC, managed by former Premier League winger Georgie Donis. Could have done more, should have done more. Still, he gave Bournemouth fans some unforgettable moments. And finally, Eddie Howe, the mastermind, the miracle worker. He took a team on the verge of administration to the Premier League and then kept them there for 5 straight seasons. Left after relegation in 2020, recharged his batteries, and now he's managing Newcastle United in Europe. From minus 17 points in League 2 to the San Siro. Some story. So that was Bournemouth's first ever Premier League 11. Some retired, some are still playing, some are reinventing themselves as nutritionists. But every single one of them was part of something unbelievable. From Dean Court to the Premier League, from budget pies to beating Chelsea, from Marc Pugh's goals to Matt Ritchie's shouting. Let us know your favourite player from that side. Like, subscribe, and if you're from Bournemouth, we hope this brought back some warm, sunny memories. Thanks for watching, not one for neutrals.